Hey everybody, I'm Michelle. Welcome to Big Valley Living and thanks for stopping by. If you're new, thanks for visiting us, and if you are a returning subscriber or returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Yesterday I put out a video about losing some balance and things like that, and that goes hand in hand with some of the side effects that I'm experiencing from stage 4 colon cancer. For those of you who are new, I am a stage 4 colon cancer warrior. I'm actually fighting right now. I'm on my 6th round of chemotherapy, and I've had stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, for over 5 years. My main message is to let everybody know that it is not the end of the world and that you can live a fulfilling, albeit different life. You have to adapt and you have to kind of put yourself in a good mental place, but you can live a fulfilling life even if you find out that you have cancer. And I'm not going to tell you it's easy all the time, because it's not, but your eyes will be open to blessings that you never expected. Believe me, a lot of things will happen in your life if you keep your eyes open for them, and if you're somebody who helps other people to see the beauty in the world. Now, I do want to make sure that you know that I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I am not giving medical advice. All I am doing is sharing with you my experience as a stage 4 colon cancer patient. So if you feel like anything that you hear in any of my videos hits home, and you're having some symptoms or you're having bowel changes that are bothering you enough to think about it, then I highly encourage you to initiate a conversation with your medical team, with your doctor, and talk to them about what's going on. Believe me, doctors know that poop is part of a normal part of life for everybody, and so there's nothing wrong with talking about it. What we eliminate from our bodies can often tell if something's going on that needs attention. So please don't be afraid to talk about it or grossed out by talking about it. If you're talking to your doctor, you're in a private setting anyway. You don't have to talk to anybody else if you don't want to. But your doctor should know if you are experiencing any symptoms. I have several videos talking about my symptoms, and I have several videos talking about what other people have told me they've gone through. And there are people in our comments, because we've really created a neat community here on YouTube. And there are people who talk about their symptoms there as well. So that being said, yesterday I told you I was going to have some exciting news today. And I do. So about a month ago, I started looking into drawing Social Security disability. And the reason I looked at disability is that I am not of age yet to draw Social Security. However, I do have a qualifying condition. I have two, but type 2 diabetes may not be a qualifying condition on its own. But I have stage 4 colon cancer, and it has a terminal outcome, right? So it's getting close to time for me to return to work. About a month and a half after I get through with my Avastin plus FOLFIRI chemotherapy regimen that I'm going through, I would be going back to the office. Now, I have concerns about being exposed to other people's germs. You know, when you're in the workplace, you're working with people of all ages. You're working with people who may have children in school who are exposed to germs. You may be working with people whose family members are medical professionals, and they're exposed to germs all day long at work, and they bring them home. Working downtown, which is where I worked for my company, it can get a little dicey in a big city in California. I'm sure you've all seen videos and newsreels. And I just had a lot of little tiny things coming into my mind about that and what type of exposure I might have been lending myself to. And because no matter what, even when I'm off of chemotherapy, my oh goodness. Even when I'm not on chemotherapy, I'm still at a disadvantage as far as being, you know, a risk at getting sick easier than other people. So, and we share office space and stuff like that now, with hybrid work environments and all that. And I also did outreach. So I am dealing with the public, and I'm dealing with coworkers, and I don't know what I'm dealing with, because it's one of those, I don't know who you saw and who you met and who you were exposed to. So these things have been weighing on my mind and adding a significant amount of angst to just my emotions. So about a month ago, I went online to the Social Security Administration and I started completing some forms. And after about 3 days, I had completed the first form as much as I could. And then I needed to gather information from my doctor, as well as making sure that I had dates of treatment with various doctors and that I had their addresses and names correct and their phone numbers updated and all that. So I saved the document online because I had created an account, and then I received notification that they saw that I had initiated it, and that if I had any questions, I could call a number or go online and check out the FAQs and that type of thing. Well, the day that I received that happened to be the day that I got a lot of information from my doctor. So when I got home and saw the message, I went ahead and I completed everything and submitted it. Well, in the next week, I got notified that it had been assigned to somebody and that they were reviewing my paperwork, but that they needed another form and a few other things. Nothing was overwhelming, by the way, okay? It wasn't like you've been rejected and you need to start all over. I didn't feel like I needed to contact an attorney, because really, if you read all of the instructions and you do the forms methodically, it actually does make sense. And I do have a qualifying condition. So I was confident about my condition, making it so that, they weren't going to necessarily reject me outright. Okay, so now we're like 2 weeks into the process, right? And I find out that I have been accepted, like not accepted, but they're going to go through my paperwork for me. At that point, I had already initiated an appointment with my HR to talk to my company about retiring as well. I was vested with enough time. I'm over the minimum age to be able to retire within my company. And so JJ and I started talking about that. If you're new, JJ is my husband, my wonderful, wonderful husband who's very supportive. So let's fast forward to last week, okay? So I had an appointment set up for this morning with my company's HR. And I had made a comment in my SSA information that I did have an appointment with my company. And I just mentioned that I had an appointment, that's all, on this day, because I had to submit paperwork to them before this date at SSA. All of that might be confusing and completely irrelevant, but I feel the need to say it out loud. So my husband was going through the banking. He goes through it every morning before work to make sure that, our bills have cleared. There haven't been any weird withdrawals or anything. And he saw a deposit and he's like, well, this is really weird. And it was a significant deposit that could have been initiated from an audit of some sort at my company, because I've been off during my treatment. And sometimes they'll do an audit of your time and they'll say, hey, we made a mistake, we made an adjustment, that type of thing. But this was a little bit more money than a simple adjustment at my company of $10 or $25, you know what I mean? So we looked more deeply into it, and it was issued from the Social Security Administration. So I was approved. Now, knowing that information and knowing I had my appointment today at my company's HR, I thought, well, let's look into that. What if I can put the two together? Because now SSA is moving forward, and I don't want the two to overlap, and I just didn't want to upset the apple cart, as it were. So I went ahead, we completed a form that would initiate a retirement if all the criteria was met. And we went in this morning at 10:30 this morning. We were sitting at my company's HR, and by 11:30 in the morning, I was officially retired. And when she said, "We're done, thank you for your time," I said, "Does that mean I'm retired?" And she said, "Yes." And a flood of emotions came out. I was happy. I was sad because this is such a big part of my identity. My job is a huge part of my identity. I love helping people, and I love taking part in big projects, and I love outreach and everything I did. And I love teaching new people who are new to the company about the company and about what we do and how to do what they do. And so the idea of losing all of that day-to-day contact was sad, but actually being off for the last 7 months now, it actually made it easier to swallow. If it would have been like, I went to work today and I retired tomorrow, that would have been much, much harder to do. In fact, filling out the paperwork for SSA, just initiating that, was very difficult for me. My gosh, just about a month ago. It just happened so quickly. So I had loaded up all my equipment and took it with me in case the retirement was a go. And then I went by my actual office and met with my manager, let them know how quickly all this had happened and how it seriously took me by surprise. And so we start crying. Then we go upstairs to our office, and I had a couple of staff members there, and there was another staff member that I have worked with over the years. For over 20 years, I've worked with a lot of people. And so I told them that I was retiring officially, and we all cried. And then I ran into a few other coworkers who were in the office today, and then I just cried more and more and more. And I'm not crying now because I've resolved it. I'm comfortable with what we've done. And part of me wants to thank everybody in this YouTube community for your support as well, because you've been saying you need to take a deep breath and you need to take a step back. And you know what? I did. I did need to do that, and I did do it. And I am sitting here right now just counting my blessings for all the people I know, all the family I have and friends, and everybody who supports me in an emotional way, in a physical way. I am thankful for all the people I've worked with over the years. I have made many, many friendships that I can now pursue because I'm not their manager, their mentor. I'm not working with somebody from outside of our company who might, I don't want anybody to get any ideas that I'm giving them preferential treatment. You just have to be careful because you don't want anybody getting the wrong idea. So I have been super cautious all of my career about maintaining that professional line. Well, now the people that have common hobbies, because you do have to know the people you work with. So I know, Susie really likes to garden, or Jennifer loves the same kind of books I like, or, Renee loves to do puzzles, that type of thing. Or I want to go out to coffee with Dave, and I don't have to worry about being, a coworker or something like that, So I'm thankful for that opportunity as well. I'm thankful for all of the things I've learned and all of the knowledge I've been able to share with others. I'm just thankful today, and that's what I'm doing today, is just reflecting on those things. But I really wanted to come on and tell all of you that I did retire, and it happened faster than I thought. And I am so excited and so happy to share this news with you. And now I'm going to be able to have a new set of things and a new set of hobbies that I might be able to take up, Maybe I can help little kids learn how to read better. I love the idea of teaching people a new skill, and that would be a wonderful skill that will carry them through their whole lives and enrich their lives and make them want to be a lifetime learner, I hope. And I'll be able to make more videos about just kind of, day-to-day things and not worry about just all the things that I feel like I have to worry about all the time. I get to take my dogs for a walk. I have a whole new set of things that I can start doing. I'm not coming with any word other than things to you, but you know what I mean. I'll be able to have new hobbies, new goals, new time to relax and not feel guilty about it. I don't feel that sense of you have to get this done. You only have so many weeks to get it done because you're going back to work. I can take my time and I can do things methodically that I want to get done around my house. I can do some more indoor seed starting for our winter garden. I can spend more time outside when I'm finished with chemotherapy, and I can get in the dirt a little bit, quite literally. I can get into my gardening more than I've been able to during the treatment. And this is a funny thing. Every year we get a bumper crop of pomegranates around October or November. And every year I wish that I had the time to pick 5 pomegranates that are ripe and peel them and get them into the freezer until I have all of them off of the bush and I have all of them seeded and cleaned, and then I can make all of my jam or my jelly that I like to make. Every single year since we've had this tree, that was a text. Every single year that we've had this tree, I have wished that I could just take 1 to 2 weeks off while the tree did its thing so I could do my thing and not waste any fruit or anything like that. You know what? I can do that now. I can do that now. I can harvest all of my citrus as it becomes ripe and not try and squeeze it all in on a weekend. We don't have to go camping with the big crowds every weekend. We can go camping during the week and it can be a little more peaceful and relaxing. Is relaxful a word? Well, guess what? I just invented a new word for you. Relaxful. I like that. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting our channel. Thank you for sharing with each other and people that you know and love that if they're having any kind of bowel problems that is disturbing to them, that they need to talk to their medical professional team and bring it to their attention. These videos are making a difference. I'm hearing from people who have been encouraged to go get a checkup at their doctor or go in for a colonoscopy, and some have found that they had precancerous polyps. Some have found that they had nothing at all and they got a clean bill of health, and even had precancerous polyp taken out. That's a good thing, because you know what? You're not going to have to go through what I went through and having part of your colon removed if you have it checked early. So any changes that you see, please make sure that your doctor knows, okay? So on that note, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go celebrate with my husband and my family tonight, and maybe a couple of friends if they have a moment. And I guess I'll see you later, everybody. Be kind.